Hi, it's Karen, the Weekend Craftaholic. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to give you a flip through of my newly created craft planner. I originally did a video on this a couple of years ago, but I have outgrown that, so whilst I was off over Christmas I took the opportunity just to get that updated and put it into a bigger size planner. I really wanted an A4 size. If you stick around as well, but I've also over Christmas created some of the Jennifer McGuire little swatch colour charts as well. So stick around to the end and I'll talk you through that as well. But as always, there'll be links below if you are interested in putting one of these inventory planners together yourself. So this is my finished craft inventory, as you can see. And what I did, I just covered it with some acetate sheets just to protect it. And I've used some nice pattern paper just to make some dividers. I just did these on the Cricut. I just used a rectangle shape, attached a little circle shape and welded them together to cut it out with these little divider tabs. And then with some vinyl, I've just cut out some little words and put it on. On the inside of each of my dividers, I've just used an alpha stamp just to make notes of what's actually inside. And this first section is the biggest. This is all about colour. So the way I divide them, exactly the same as I did in the little planner, is I have everything that's colour related. Then where do we go next? Everything paper related. All my tools. Impress, that's things like the stamps, the dies, embossing. Then moving on to embellishments, and then just a miscellaneous section at the back, which I'll get to. So the colour is the big one, and this is where I find the most value. This is really where the swatching comes in for me. And you see I've got a few little extras as well. So I've got here, for example, I found this on Pinterest, and it's just a comparison of Copic markers and the corresponding distressing. So that's going to find that really useful. The Copic wheel, and then as we get into this colour section, I have got little subdividers as well. So this is everything Copic, and as I'm new to Copic, this is going to be really valuable for me to make use of these sections. Now I bought the X chart and I've got 2 copies of it, so this is on my desk at all times. So if I want to use to do like a bit of a comparison for colours and what colours I need, this is a track of what I've actually got. There is an app as well. I did download the Copic app and I'm using that as well, but I thought it'd be worth having an extra copy of this. Now with everything in this inventory, I've printed on the paper that I'll use. So this is the Nina paper that I've printed on that. And I did find this other colour chart as well, which I'm using just to again keep a track of colour families visually for me. And then we get into all of the distress. So for me, it's really useful to just have a one-pager with all of the different distress products. And you can see I've got a little legend here telling you which colour relates to which product. And that way, if I do want to just take a picture of what I need while I'm out and about at the shops, it's just one picture that I'm referring to. Of course, I do have it separate as well. This is mainly, again, just so I can see the colours, what I've got, how they look on the paper. And I must admit, I do love swatching anyway. I like doing this, so I've got a record of things. And then we'll move on to some of the other products that I've got. I'm not going to go through every single page, but I have recently bought a couple of double ups, so I thought it was time to update this and make sure I wasn't going to do that again, because it's just a complete waste of money, isn't it? Then we move on to things like watercolours, and on here I've done some swatching on both black and white just so you can see the differences. It does really make a big difference when you look at them on the 2 different ones. And then at the back I've got my polychromos, which are also very new, and again 2 different colour charts for that. Moving on to paper, so this is a very small section, but it's where I've just kept a note of what paper collections I've got. So you see I don't have too many of them, and that's the way I like it. I don't want it to build up too much. I've made a note of what's digital, and you know, I don't mind those building up, but I don't want to have to store and waste all of the others. So I've just ticked off the main things I've got, so that if I do see a sale online, I don't know, for example Bloom Street, I don't have the sticker book, so I know go ahead and get the sticker book for Bloom Street. Tools is again just a bit of a list, and as I buy things I'll just add them on, probably more for insurance purposes than anything. And similarly with a list of adhesives. And then this is another fun section, my favourite one after colour, which of course is all the stamps, dies and embossing. So I've started keeping a list of the Uniquely Creative stamps separately. Now they don't actually have like a product list like Lawn Fawn do, which is such a shame because I know they do heaps of them and I know I'm going to be a big fan as I am with Lawn Fawn. But as with colour, any product, if you go on their website, they'll have colour charts, swatches, that kind of thing. So always refer to the manufacturer first to see what they've got that you can use in your inventory planner. I've just put little red dots of the things on here that I've got. Again, just helps me make sure I don't buy any double ups. And of course the key here is keeping it up to date because I did buy 2 lots of glossy stencils. So that was the push for me to get this all organised. And let's move on, my little roller stamps. So these were from the old planner. Now rather than redo these, as you can see, I've just adhered these on with a tape runner onto a fresh sheet of paper. And then what have we got? Got on my embossing powders. Again, just stuck on the sheets rather than redo them for my dies. And then I've also added in here my punches. So this is border punches primarily, but you can see I've got some other shape punches like the circles and hexagon and so on. In terms of embellishments, as it says here, these are my foil, my mists, my stencils, all my Go Press and Go stuff, hot foils. I still need to do the embossing folders and then my stencils as well that I've added on. And then for miscellaneous, this is just crafty stuff that I've come across. So this was from Christina Werner, just different sizes of cards, some little templates for you to draft out card designs. So there's a few of those. I've then got a list of all my Cricut supplies as well, and then just some blank sheets at the back for ready for when I need to add some new pages. Now this is bursting at the seams, as you can see, with these smaller little rings. These are just the mini disc rings, Happy Planner ones, so I probably will need to move them up to the bigger ones soon. But I will just quickly say I've also got this scrap piece of paper in the back as well. This is just an extra sheet that I'd printed off. And when I get a new sheet, I just use that as a template to align it next to the paper so I know where to punch the holes and where to snip it. So again, that's just kept at the back. Rather than using the sheets that are ready to go, I can just reuse that one. And that's the back of my planner. So that's given you some inspiration. You know, when you first think about it, you think, oh, even though everyone has lots of supplies, you don't realise just how much space it will take up. So you can see just how chunky this is. It's about an inch thick, and it really is a great way of cataloguing your stuff, remembering what you've got, and making sure you make good use of everything. Before I go though, I will touch on what I also did over Christmas whilst I was on leave for 3 weeks, is I followed Jennifer McGuire's idea with the coin holders. So these are little page protectors that are for coin collections, are 2 by 2 inches squares. And again, I just used some of the Nina cardstock here. All of these templates are on her blog, so you can print them off straight from that. And then I just used this little circle stamp from Paper Smooches just to get this consistent circle on them all as well. As you can see, I just stamped them all separately, and once I'd finished, I then put them in here and tried to keep them in colour family. So these are just like the blacks, the whites, then the neutrals here with the greys, the pinky ones. But what I really like with this, and the reason I've started using this, is because, you know, that's not really what this planner is for. If I wanted to look for a shade of pink, I'd have to do it by manufacturer. You know, I'd have to look through the Distress, then the Catherine Pooler, then the Memento, when really I just want to do a little comparison, what's the closest colour that I want. So having it in here is certainly useful for that. It did take a bit of time, but like I say, I do enjoy this kind of thing. So it wasn't a chore for me, and I spread it over a few weeks. And I've got lots of space here just to grow into. I think there was 10 sheets in this pack that I'd got from Amazon. And it does make you realise, look how many greens I've got and blues compared to other colours. So again, it's going to help inform me of what other colours to buy going forward, and where perhaps I need more or more where I also need less. So this is another idea to try as well. And I just leave this hanging off my Roscoe card so it's nice and close to hand. Then I can have a look and decide which one I want to use. She does have some, she does have an editable Word document, a blank one as well. And that's where I actually did these with, because I just typed these out. But it does have a lot of waste in the template, so I found for each sheet I could potentially get another 4 of these swatches out of it, which is where you see some of these are handwritten, because I really didn't want to waste the paper. So just do whatever works for you. If you've seen this and you've been tempted, I would definitely say go with it. It's definitely been one of my favourites over Christmas to put it together and also to use it. And that works really well with my craft inventory, I feel, because I'm not reaching for this as much now. I'm thumbing through it and trying to find a colour that I want to use. And it's also making me use my distress inks a bit more rather than just going straight to the oxides because they're on my desk. And same with the Catherine Pooler. It's making me think a bit more about using other inks that I've got in my stash. So I hope that's given you some inspiration if you've been thinking of starting a craft inventory, or I don't know, maybe you've started and you're ready for a change, like I am, a bit of a change up. When I first did this a few years ago, I loved that it was so contained. It was nice and small. It fit quite easily in my handbag. But I'm finding I don't need to take this out anymore. If I know I'm going to a craft store, I'll just quickly come, take a picture of, say, Perfect Pearls, and then I've got it on my phone if I need it. Otherwise, it stays here, and as soon as anything new comes in my craft room, I'll make sure I put it in here, and then that way, fingers crossed, I don't buy any double ups going forward as well. So I'm doing an order online. I just make sure this is sat next to me. I'll put little pencil marks on things that I've ordered so that if I'm looking at a couple of stores because there's a couple of sales on, I know that it's already on its way and not to buy that again. So that is my craft inventory. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, just post them down below. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.